Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two appealing Formula One fans. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your I Feel Love host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1977 season, part 6. So let's go.
Do I know I Feel Love?
It's a very big song. Yeah, it's if you Google it, it's definitely a disco song, but we're in the heart of disco era here. But
Yes.
It's actually a very big, how do I put this? It's a gay icon song. Like a lot of the homosexual community, this is their go-to music sort of thing. And it's sung by Donna Summer. And,
of course.
And she was a very big gay icon in her earlier days.
Yes.
She changed after that, but that's not the purpose of this podcast. It's more just to say, great song, number one hit around the world, bit of a one-hit wonder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I've forgotten your word, sorry.
Appealing. I think this season is becoming more appealing now that, for me personally at least, as Niki Lauda's taken the lead and a bit of a lead also.
Yeah, it's a 14, 15, 16-point lead. With still 5 races to go.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, but everyone behind him is erratic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
So, yeah. Okay, so we're up to the 13th race of the season, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, 28th of August, 75 laps, and the weather was warm and dry. So, just like the other European races, this race was overflowing with competitors. And like they did in Britain, they introduced a special pre-practice day in order to eliminate some drivers.
Interestingly, though, the initiative was aborted as Merzario, one of the 9 drivers nominated, refused to take part in this ridiculous practice. And he argued, successfully in the end, that there was nothing in the rules requiring to qualify for the right to practice. So good on Merzario.
Well, you said it was a ridiculous practice, but pre-qualifying does come about. They've got to find some solution if there's too many drivers. How else can they do it?
I don't know, but they have done it in the past. You're right. It's not the first time that we heard of this, but yeah, Merzario don't think it was fair. So
yeah, I mean, good on him for standing up and, you know.
Yep. And he's Italian, so maybe he's got some Ugolini vibes running through him. Yeah.
So 2 things, the power of one, the power of Merzario, because he's not exactly a big name driver, is he?
He's not. He's not. That's right. And I don't even know what team is he in. He's like in a nothing team. Is he in Ensign or?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. He doesn't seem to earn any points. So So he's showing you don't need to be a big name driver. But as a result of his stand, 34 drivers started practice to qualify for 26 positions. So thank you, Merzario.
Oh, for this race, he's in the Shadow car.
Okay, that's not a bad car. The car that won a race with Jones. But I wouldn't say every race was a winning race for Shadow, but yes.
All right. So Renault was back with Jabouillet driving. There were so many drivers. There was many new or returning entrants for this event, but we are focusing on the key players and Renault is one of those. So welcome back, Renault.
Yeah, and focus we will, because right away Andretti was again a pace setter. And it seems this track's slow to medium speed corners really suited the Lotus 78 wing car, as it was starting to be nicknamed.
So to most, it looked like Andretti was driving on rails and he was quickly making everyone else look somewhat second rate. To put this into some perspective, Peterson's pole time of 1976 was 1 minute 21.31. So most thought a time below 1 minute 20 would be a real challenge.
And Andretti was under that level very quickly, and on the first day had set a time of 1 minute 18.9. The next closest was Hunt and Reutemann at about 1 minute 19.7. So this was pretty much Andretti's 5th pole of the season right there.
Yeah, and I'm going to predict that a lot of his rivals, a lot of the other teams are going to copy that ground force aero trick for
Wing
next
car.
season. Yeah, the wing car,
You
exactly.
mean they're
Yeah,
not going to do a march and do a
yeah, they're not going to go.
four-wheeler rear tire
Yeah,
versus a four-wheeler front tire car?
that's right. Let's get the air to go around our car and over
Yeah,
top.
opposite of whatever Lotus is doing.
Yeah, that's right. So when qualifying was all done, there were a few surprises as Lafitte had hauled his Ligier up to second place. I don't know that I think now we can say that Ligier is performing to its level now. Don't you reckon? Like
Yeah, but
before it
still a
was
bit erratic. Like sometimes we don't hear about the Ligier at all, and the next
yeah,
time we hear them in second
yeah,
place. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So they're being erratic like everyone else, to be honest.
Exactly. It's not because they're a new team anymore. So Peterson, who we've barely talked about, put his six-wheeler up to fifth place. And in the words of Mike Lang, after some quite spectacular driving. I wonder what that looked like.
He likes him. That's what he's saying. So
Yeah.
Hunt and
Okay.
Lauda were third and fourth. Surprisingly, Scheckter in the Wolf was down in the second half of the grid, unable to break the 1 minute 20 mark. And Ugolini inspired Merzario, despite his one-man stand, did not
Yeah.
qualify.
Poor Mazzario. Man, he made it possible for everyone else to qualify and then he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
So when race start came around, Andretti beat Lafitte off the line, but an even better start was made by Hunt, unusual. And before Andretti realised it, Hunt was coming up on his inside. Both cars were absolutely side by side going around the hairpin until Andretti was forced onto the grass and had to give way.
Wow, what aggression by Hunt at the start. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
guess there
these
was
days,
no Watson around to scare him, so that's why.
so Luigi, these days, that would be called forcing your opponent off the track and you'd be penalised for something like that.
It's
Don't you
hard,
think?
yeah, as you should be. As you
Yeah,
should
but
be.
back in
Yeah.
those days, nothing.
It's hard to say without seeing the footage, and we don't get to see this footage clearly. And if you do
No.
see it on YouTube and whatnot, it's quite grainy and difficult.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But interesting.
Yeah, but strong aggression by Hunt. We don't quite know who was the right or wrong, but he was on the inside line, but he probably kicked out wide, as you generally do with a hairpin. So as a result, Andretti fell back to third, so at least he was still sort of there
Yeah.
behind Lafitte. And further back, there was drama as Watson, who qualified a lowly eighth, especially considering how he's been recently, he managed to try to get by the two Ferraris. And in his attempts to do that, he failed because he was forced over a curb and damaged his car.
And hero of last race, Jones and Muss had a coming together, which forced Muss to become airborne and retire from the race. So Jones probably went on, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. So on lap 2, Andretti scrambled past the Ligier of Lafitte and set about chasing down the leading Hunt. Well, in the meantime, the two Ferrari drivers of Lauda and Reutemann were behind Lafitte in fourth and fifth and no doubt pushing themselves.
By lap 5, Andretti was right on Hunt's tail and was making repeated moves to pass. Both drivers were very determined, and on the hairpin, Andretti unconventionally chose to go round the outside. It's never good to go round the outside, Louis.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
risk.
like it.
Yeah.
And again, the two cars were absolutely side by side as they were at the start of the race.
Yeah, and Hunt stuck to the racing line and started to drift towards the outside of the track, which is normally what happens, and as he did at the race start too, to Andretti. Andretti's front wheels were just about in line with the McLaren cockpit.
Uh-oh. And he was determined not to take to the grass and kept the power on, which made a collision inevitable. And sure enough, it came.
Yeah. The left rear, because I mean, Hunt is theoretically, according to Mike Lang, out of the championship. So yeah, let's see. So the left rear of the McLaren touched the right front of the Lotus. The McLaren immediately launched up into the air and landed back down onto the track with a heavy thud, the impact causing a range of damage to his McLaren.
Meanwhile, Andretti's Lotus spun helplessly onto the grass. Hunt was out in a car steaming due to broken radiator parts. Andretti was able to gather himself up, however, and continue in fourth place, now behind the three 12-cylinder cars of Lafitte and the two Ferraris.
Well, I think Andretti dodged a bullet there. I think he got
Yes.
away with it. And I wonder if words were said afterwards, because these guys were obviously pushing hard. Yeah. So it didn't take long for Andretti to get onto the rear of Reutemann's tail. And by lap 10, he was through into third place. Then Lauda was quickly under pressure by Andretti. And again, Andretti took the outside line on the hairpin against Lauda. And again, they were wheel to wheel.
Oh, man. Like going on the outside is just risky, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
especially on the hairpin.
You're putting a lot of trust on the other driver to not go wide, because that's naturally what they'll do, whether they want
That's
to or
right.
not.
Yes. So Lauda held the inside line and fended off the Andretti challenge. The next two laps were very exhilarating as Andretti was constantly right on the Ferrari's tail, looking and pushing for any weakness. Then it all fizzled out.
Yeah. On lap 14, the Lotus suddenly slowed up. For Andretti, suffered his fourth engine failure in 4 races. Andretti headed back to the pits to find Hunt arguing with Colin Chapman about the driving standards of his driver, Andretti.
Of course.
Only then to continue the discussion itself with Andretti directly.
Wow. Discussion is one word for it, Luigi.
Yeah.
Andretti was unmoved and felt equally that it was Hunt's fault. Oh, gee, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Most unbiased observers felt that it was just one of those things that happens in motor racing.
Yeah. And this does sound like a sort of 50-50 thing from the way it's described. But I love the fact that Hunt went to Colin Chapman about it. It's like going to the parents and dobbing him in. Not that I think Colin Chapman was going to give Andretti a grounding or something.
No,
you know?
That's right. But like going on the outside to me does make me nervous most times. Like I think drivers who go on the outside, you go, why are you doing that? That's just like flirting with danger.
Yeah, very, very much. Meanwhile, while all this exciting racing was going on, let's not forget that Lafitte was still leading. I had forgotten already, actually.
I had 2 forces.
Yeah, I was so focused on those other two. The two Ferraris were not far behind, and Nielsen was fourth in the other Lotus.
By lap 20, Lauda was right up on Lafitte, and on the very next lap, he darted through into the lead. Yes, I think Lauda's gotten a little bit of, he can sniff a championship win here, and he started to slowly draw away from the Ligier.
So attention now turned to Nielsen's challenges on Reutemann in third, and this came to nothing because on lap 33, Nielsen overdid things and spun into the sand. And he nearly even took Reutemann out with him at the same time, but he did manage to slightly damage the Ferrari, so he got some consolation maybe, which caused him to require a pit stop for some attention to his car. So he essentially took Reutemann out of the race running. Not that Reutemann, I think, was in the running, but he was in the running for the podium.
So the attention was back on the two leading cars as they circulated 3 seconds apart. At times, the gap closed when Lauda was lapping back markers. But
it didn't matter because Lauda proceeded to win the race by 2 seconds with Lafitte in second place. I'm sure he had it in hand. He was just controlling the pace, looking after the car.
Yeah, I think so. There was some surprise for third place, though, as unexpectedly Tom Bay in the ensign was sitting in third since about lap 35, but he ran out of fuel on the second to last lap. So Scheckter inherited third place, with Tom Bay being classified in fifth place, 2 laps in arrears.
What a pity and what an unbelievable drive by Tom Bay. He was up there for a lot of the race. It wasn't like he inherited it. A little bit. A few drivers did go out in front of him, but still, he would have been in the points. So, yeah. So Fittipaldi had one of his better finishes, actually, by completing the race in fourth. Wow. So there you go.
There you go. He lives on, does Fittipaldi, just barely on life support. So, to the Drivers' Championship, Niki Lauda's on 63, Scheckter's on 42, and Reutemann's on 35. Andretti's on 32 and Hunt is on 22. Ferrari's leading the constructors on 80, Lotus is second on 47, and Wolff doing very well for one driver. He's on 42 points, sitting in third place.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure Ferrari's got the constructors. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's enough points available to Lotus to overhaul.
No.
What is it?
Well,
33-point lead. And there's only 27 points available.
yeah, and given that they've had 4 engine failures in 4 races, I don't know that they've got the reliability even.
Yeah. Okay. So up to race 14 of 17, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Will this be a good one? Normally they are. So it's September 11, 52 laps, and the weather was warm and sunny. So as the teams headed to the iconic Monza circuit, there was a feeling that Lauda, with a 21-point lead ahead of Scheckter, and with only 4 races remaining, was certainty for the 77 championship.
This is especially the case given that Scheckter hasn't really been competitive of late. So I'm not surprised that that's what everyone was thinking at the time.
Yeah. However, Lauda dropped a bombshell. At the end of the 77 season, he would be leaving Ferrari and instead chose to join the Eccleston-led Brabham team.
Like a couple of things here, Louis. Firstly, he's in a Ferrari and he's announcing this at Monza.
Yeah, I reckon.
That is,
and he's got a big lead over Reutemann. Like I was thinking, because he hasn't won the championship,
no,
but he's got like a nearly 30-point lead on Reutemann as well. So I think this was a big middle finger to the Ferrari team.
Look, we've said this a lot about Lauda in previous seasons, but this is another big dog move. Like this is just big dog. I'm bigger than you, Ferrari. I'm going to announce it at your home race that I'm leaving your team. And yeah, it was a big middle finger. Absolutely. And I mean, he's joining the Brabham team as well.
But Brabham are looking like they've really got the pace. And I'll make a bet that Bernie Eccleston really emphasised, we're going to make this team so reliable next year. He probably really talked about all the reliability improvements they're building into the team because he's seen the pace is there.
Yes. And really, when you look up and down the grid, who else is left? Like Lotus has had 4 failures in 4 races. And Lauda was already at Lotus, wasn't he? He already drove for. Oh no, it was BRM and
before. But he could have signed with. I'm not saying he had the option to sign with Lotus, but Lotus would have also been a good team as long as they could also promise him reliability improvement.
And they couldn't. Like at this time in the grid, Brabham's looking like the team to join because McLaren's nowhere, Lotus is nowhere, March is nowhere.
Ferrari's not that great. Ferrari's not looking that great either. Like they're solid, but look where Reutemann is. He's in the gaggle with the other.
That's right. And then you've got Shadow, Surtees, Wolf, and Ensign. I mean, they're all midfield teams. Exactly. He's going back.
He wouldn't join Wolf. He wouldn't join Wolf because they're like,
That's right. So really, he only had one option, and that was Brabham.
And I would say they weren't even an obvious choice. They were still like risk because what if they couldn't get their reliability sorted out?
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
It just is a function of how much the relationship with Ferrari broke down for him.
He could have stayed at Ferrari.
Years. Yeah. And it really started when they appointed Reutemann when he had his accident, I think. He didn't like Aldetto and he did say, I'm going to leave at the end of 76 or whenever it was. But then he had his accident and then Enzo was not happy with him. So it just shows how much it deteriorated that he felt that he should be leaving the team instead of staying with them. Like Ferrari's a big team.
Yeah, he should. In theory, he could have stayed and had a good 78. Yeah. So it shows egos and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And I was going to say one quick thing about, how he announced it in Italy. I'll make a bet he worked very hard to get that contract wrapped up so he could announce in Italy. He probably busted his gut to get lawyers to accelerate looking at it and all that sort of stuff, Yeah,
he probably wanted it to be like, I am going to do this at the most uncomfortable race for you ever. Be in Italy. That's right. Exactly. So again, it's another big dog. I reckon Lauda, if we do big dog moves, he gets the top 3 easy.
he does it repeatedly,
Yeah.
and good on him.
He gets the top
Yeah,
3 big dog moves in Formula One history, I think.
yeah. Oh, I think there might be others, but I have to dig deep to understand what they were. But this will be one of them, a big one.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
many fans actually protested with banners expressing their displeasure. So he obviously announced it early enough for people to have time to do banners, right? So it's funny to hear this because here he is in a Ferrari on
Mm,
the verge of giving the
I
Ferrari
know.
team another championship. So he really, yeah, funny.
Yeah. Yes, as we said, that is just a measure of how much he valued himself as a driver, and he didn't let anything stand in the way of that. So, but as you said, he had a contract to fill and he wanted more points to secure the 77 championship. He was gonna end up on a high. Like, he's not gonna give away the championship just to spite Ferrari. I mean, he did have some pride in his performances.
Yeah, and there's no way he would have made this announcement if Reutemann was anywhere near him.
That's right.
No way. He would have
Exactly.
kept
Yeah.
that to himself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to qualifying, there was a particularly nasty accident involving Torbay, who was the star of the last race, and his ensign. His car suddenly pitched sideways into a guardrail, flipped upside down, and then went sliding along the track in a trail of sparks.
Yeah, there was a eerie silence in the crowd for a few moments. Then, amazingly, Tombe unfastened his seatbelts and emerged unharmed. So, yes, that shows how much safety has improved in the cars.
Yeah. Then later in the Saturday morning session, Lauda himself made a rare mistake as he attempted to test some soft Goodyear tyres. He would crash into the parabolica and he would also escape injury, but his car did require quite a bit of repair.
In the meantime, Renault were having constant engine issues with that turbo. And so they were going through a lot of issues, teething issues. And I don't know that they actually got them sorted out for this race, but they're there. They're there trying to sort it out.
Yeah. It's almost like this year's just a practice session for them.
Yes. Yeah.
So to qualifying, the race really ramped up. And for some time, it looked like Reutemann had pole with his time of 1 minute 38.15 until Hunt put in a flyer at 1 minute 38.08 to take pole. So not by much. And he did it so late that nobody had time to retaliate. So that's becoming a bit of a strategic play that a lot of them are turning to.
Yeah. Yeah. Scheckter ended up third in his Wolf, finally being a bit more competitive. They started the season so well. Like, they had a very strong start to the season. I think they won a race. Oh, no, they got
Yeah, they won the first race. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they kind of disappeared and they had a bad middle section, but they're back. So that's good for them. Then Andretti was fourth, Lauda fifth, and Patrese in the shadow, sixth.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about him much, but here he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 drivers didn't qualify, and unfortunately, this included Emerson Fittipaldi.
You're making Luigi's point easy for him, Fittipaldi. So to race day, we start with a tragedy. After the morning warm-up during one of the support races, a high-set advertising sign, so it was set up high over the crowd, collapsed under the weight of spectators who were using it to get a better view. The incident killed 2 of the spectators and injured numerous others.
And where were the Italian police from the early 60s? You remember how they identified the danger of
Yes.
the banking at Monza and they stepped in and said, no more of that?
That's right.
I wish they didn't prevent this incident. So it's sad that this happened.
Well, in fact, I would say that they had more place stopping this incident than they had stopping the banking incident as police. Like, this is crowd control, right? This is like, this is actually their bread and butter. But no, yep.
Probably a riot would have ensued if they said, get off that, get off that.
Yeah. So the race proceeded later in the day, and when the cars completed their warm-up lap, there was a long delay, long enough for Lafitte's Ligier to overheat.
And as the lights turned green, Scheckter took advantage of the front row drivers of Hunt and Reutemann hesitating, and he led. He charged into the lead and led by the first chicane.
Even more impressive was that Regazzoni in the ensign from 7th on the grid charged up to second place. This left Hunt in third and Andretti in fourth.
Gee, how much did they hesitate? You know?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big hesitation. So while this is impressive of Regazzoni, of course, he was quickly deposed by Hunt and Andretti on the opening lap and was immediately under pressure by the two Ferraris of Reutemann and Lauda. I mean, that car didn't have the pace in hand, but great for him to get up there.
Yeah. You're going to give him TP points for that. I can see it. On lap 2, Scheckter continued to pull away while Andretti moved up to second place at the expense of Hunt. It would have been interesting to watch this, I think, given the dramas of these two from the last race. There would have been a bit of feeling about it, but it sounds like Andretti got past him quite easy in the end. Like there's no explanation of the fight. It just sounds like Andretti blew past him.
And this track has big long straights, which would make it a lot easier. If your car's just got pace, there's only so much you can do. Yeah. So while the Ferraris quickly deposed Regazzoni further, Andretti had now dropped Hunt and was now starting to reduce the deficit to the leading Scheckter.
On lap 10, Andretti pulled out of the Wolf's slipstream and went around the outside. Jeepers, Andretti likes going around the outside, doesn't he?
Because he's got this extra suction.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's right.
But he doesn't know that the car next to him doesn't have that suction, and that car next to him will go wide.
That's right, exactly. So he's going around the outside of Scheckter on the Parabolica, no less. So this was Zandvoort all over again.
And this time the move was clean and worked. So soon after, Scheckter tried to hem in Andretti while lapping Jarier's Penske, but that strategy did not work and Andretti simply just started to pull away.
A few laps after this, Hunt was forced out of the race, and I'm going to refer to Mike Lang here. We want to know what he thought. And forced out seemed to be the operative word when Hunt, spun at the first chicane after very nearly being shoved against Jarier's Penske by Reutemann. Man, I think it's like reading his diary. It's like reading Mike Lang's diary. Like, where's the independent reporting, you know?
Yeah, is he going to write down, and I cried, you know?
That's right.
And I needed counselling, and
Yeah.
It's fun to make fun of Mike Lang. I mean, he does a good job in the most, right? So, yeah. So Jarier getting into the mix of things, but not in the right sort of way, right? So this situation therefore relegated Hunt back to 8th and immediately in front of Regazzoni in the ensign.
So up front, Andretti was controlling the race and leading by 10 seconds from the two Ferraris of Reutemann and Lauda. Scheckter had retired on lap 24. I don't know why, but he had obviously had issues with his car, I think.
Yeah, and by lap 31, the race had developed into a lull. I mean, this race was 70 or 80 laps, right? So it's pretty early. And remember the old slip-streaming Monza battles? They're sort of over to pity. All those chicanes really changed it, didn't they?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Reutemann had a crack develop in his exhaust on lap 35, and Lauda duly went through into second, and Reutemann retired soon after when he spun on oil from another driver's issue. Interestingly, Lauda spotted the oil slick and took avoiding action. We hear this so often, Luigi. Reutemann did not spot it in time, so he spun on it. So, yeah, it is just the awareness and the reflexes of the really, really great drivers is obvious in incidences like that, I think.
Yeah.
I know we've had arguments about this because you keep saying it's luck. I say
no. It depends. We don't have enough detail, but in this case, you sort of think, okay, probably this is a talent of Lauda. The 100%. Ability to think fast, but it's not always like this. Anyway, in Mike Lang's words, it came as a relief when the checkered flag was finally hung out.
Oh, that's harsh.
Andretti had driven to a well-deserved victory. Lauda came second 17 seconds later, and he only needed one more point to be declared the 77 champion. And Jones did a great job to come in third from 16th on the grid.
Oh, wow. In the shadow.
Yeah. He's backing it up. He's looking like a bit of a star. I mean, Jones is only, I think, in his second year. This is the first time he's had like a consistent series of drives, I think. And he's looking like the their rookie of the year. Like, we're not talking about Villeneuve, and I don't know if Villeneuve
No.
drives many other races, but
Well, he
Jones is
hasn't.
looking like the
Yeah, the
rookie that we
talent.
want.
The talent of the year. That's
Fresh
right.
talent.
I
Yeah.
think Villeneuve does drive in another race, but, yeah, not for a little while yet. So, okay. So to the standings, the drivers' standings, we've got Niki Lauda leading on 69, Scheckter second on 42, just 1 point ahead of Andretti on 41. Reutemann's on 35, so Lauda's killed him, left him in the dust. And James Hunt is on 22. So he hasn't moved for many races. He's been stuck on 22 for 3 or 4 races now.
Yeah, I know. So much for the Jones
Yes.
hunt out.
Yes. On the constructors, yeah, I think Ferrari's got that sewn up. They're on 86. Lotus is on 56. That's pretty good for Lotus to come up to 56. Wolf is third on 42. And that is awesome because they are beating McLaren on 38 with just one driver.
Yeah, it just shows.
So
But don't forget, I think the only your best result counts in the race,
yes,
but still, they've got two
still,
drivers that can do that.
that's
And
right. Exactly.
one of them's the defending champion.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. We were hoping to get 3 races in this time, Louis, but we've only gotten 2, haven't we?
We only got 2 in,
anyway,
but that's okay.
yeah,
We'll make it up next one.
all right. See you next time,
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay, bye.